Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrali sadri wa yassirli amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli rabbi zidni ilma. How is everyone? Hope that you all are well, enjoying your learning. Okay, today we are here to solve one more paper, Cambridge IGCSE, Computer Science, Paper 2, Algorithms, Programming and Logic. The paper is 047823. It's of October-November 2024. The duration of the paper is 1 hour 45 minutes. You have to answer on the question paper. No additional materials are needed. You have to answer all the questions. You are allowed to use a black or a dark blue pen. You can use an egg pencil for any diagrams or graphs. You have to write your name, center number, and candidate number in the boxes at the top of the page. Write your name, write your answer to each question in the given space. Do not use an erasable pen or correction fluid. Do not write on any barcodes. Calculators must not be used in the paper. The total marks for this paper is 75, and the number of marks for each question or part question is shown in brackets. No marks will be awarded in case of using the brand names of software packages or hardware. So please refrain from using the brand names. Now we are starting with our first question. Question number 1. Tick one box to show which of the following is used to validate data on input. Validate data on input. The options are, as you can see, checksum, double entry, type check, visual check. Out of these, which one is validation? Okay, correct, great, correct. It's type check. All the others are checksum, double entry, visual check. They are your verification, exactly. So you have studied visual check and double entry as the verification methods. And checksum is also verification, but that is something that is done over the network. So just definitely we know that checksum is your error detection technique. So that is why it is also not a validation check. Only option is type check. Okay. Second question. Tick one box to show a method used to construct a solution to a problem. Abstraction, structure diagram, test data, variable. Okay, definitely test data is completely out of this race. Variable is not. You know very well that test data means exactly normal, abnormal, extreme, and boundary. Abstraction means what? I hope that you know. Ignoring unnecessary details and concentrating on whatever is needed. So definitely in order to construct a solution to the problem, the option that is available to us is structure diagram. So in this manner, you have scored 2 out of 2. We have revised these concepts. You know them very well. I hope that that is all clear. Isn't it? Okay, now let's move to the third question. Question number 3. Four logic gates and 4 logic gates and 5 logic gate symbols are shown. Draw one line to link each logic gate to its correct symbol. Not all logic gate symbols will be used. Okay, now a minute, and then we will do it together. We'll check that whether our answers are matching or not. Okay, now the AND gate. The last one is the AND gate. NAND gate. Second last is the NAND gate. NOR gate. The third one is the NOR gate. XOR or XOR gate. The first one is XOR gate. In this manner, you have identified them properly, and which one is not used. This is what you know. This one, which one is this one? This is your OR gate, exactly. So in this manner, you have scored the marks. 4 marks. Isn't it easy? Okay, now let's move to the next question. Complete the paragraph about databases. Use terms from the list. You may need to use a term more than once. Some of the terms in the list will not be used. The terms are fields, comments, columns, constant, key table, primary key, program, records, rows, script, database, validation, variable. Now, database tables consist of rows and columns. I mean, you can simply say this. A table is composed of rows and columns, or a student can say columns and rows, or a student can say fields and records, or another student can say records and fields. So in this manner, a student can write any of these four options in the first two blanks, and they will be considered as correct options because your tables consist of, you call them rows or columns, you call them fields and records, they all are correct. Rows are records and columns are fields. I mean, that's what you know. Structured query language or SQL scripts are used to query data. A primary key uniquely identifies a record. Such an easy question, you know this very well, and you will be able to score 6 marks. I hope that there's no query regarding this. Let's move to the next question. Or is there any? Up till now, all the 4 questions are very simple. Yes, exactly. Now moving to the 5th question. One stage of program development lifecycle is the analysis stage. Identify and describe 2 other stages of the program development lifecycle. So analysis is given to us, which are the other 2. I mean, you remember design, coding, and testing. So a student can write any 2 of these three, and he will be scoring marks accordingly. It was a 6-mark question. It means they were expecting me to identify 2 stages that will give me 2 marks. And the rest of the 4 marks are for proper description, means that you will talk about designing. And what are we doing in designing? We are using, we are constructing the solution to a problem by using flowcharts or by using pseudocode or by using the structure diagrams. Then talking about coding, if a child has written about coding. So if he talks about the program is written and we are performing iterative testing to ensure that program is working properly, it means he will be scoring the marks for properly describing the coding concept. Definitely, you know the program is written using a programming language, and before you hand over the program, you perform iterative testing. Isn't it? You keep on testing the program till you are sure that the program is error-free. The program is not containing any errors. Aren't you people doing when you are doing the papers? This, yes, you do it, exactly. So similarly, you as a programmer, inshallah, will be designing a program, will be writing a program, and you will be performing testing to show that your program is error-free before you hand it over to the end users. If a child has written testing, so what are they expecting the student to write? The program is tested for errors, and it is tested so that we can ensure that it is meeting the requirement. Whatever the requirements were mentioned to me as a programmer, am I meeting all the requirements? That is what this testing phase is doing. By the way, if any one of you is facing any problem with any of the topic, then there are videos available on the channel, so you can watch the video for PDLC. You can watch the video for logic gates. You can watch the videos for each of the topic that has been discussed or that will be discussed. So just to have a clear idea about each and everything, so you can watch the video also. Still, any concern, you will definitely write the comment or ask in the class, and I'll be definitely able to help you out. But this is how we are solving the paper. Okay, question number 6. Now, an incomplete algorithm has been written in pseudocode to count the number of values stored in an array and to find their average. Values have been stored in the array starting at A1, like position 1 is the beginning. All the values to be counted are non-zero. A value of 0 in the array indicates there are no more values stored. It means that the moment a 0 is entered, it will terminate your program, or you can say the process that you are doing will be terminated. So now what are we expected to write? There are a few blanks, and we have to fill in those blanks. So first blank is in line 6. You can see, let's do it together. Line 1, declare a colon array 1 colon 50 of integer. Means it indicates that my array is of type integer. It is holding all the integer values, as was mentioned in the beginning, that it is supposed to store the integer values, as you can see, to count the number of values stored in the array and to find their average. So definitely, in order to find out the average, I need to store the integer values. Values have been stored in the array starting at A1. As you can see, this is A1. Declare C integer, declare W integer, declare X integer, W equals to 0. C, it's blank. While A of C is not equal to 0. It means that the input, that is like whatever the value is being stored, if it's not equal to 0, it will continue. The moment it encounters a 0, it will be terminating the loop and will be moving out of the loop. W, arrow, what is supposed to come here? As you can see, it's supposed to just count the number of values stored in the array and to find their average. So our job is to find out the average. Now, you can see what is going to come here. C equals to 1. Because we are starting location number 1, and that is where C is trapping the locations or the indexes exactly. W, what is W doing? It's simply W plus A brackets C. Now, it's meant to find out the average, and you remember that for finding average, we need totaling. So this W variable is meant to perform the totaling task. So this is what we have done here. And okay, now this is A, the variable to store the arrays. C equals to C plus 1. That is for counting, like for actually the index value. And while in X, what is X doing? You can see X is meant to find out the average. So, and what are we going to write? W divided by C minus 1. That is perfectly okay. As a child can write W, that is holding the total, divided by C minus 1. Okay, now why C minus 1? If you have talked about this one, if, for example, the value of C was increased by 1, and then the value that was input by the value that was present in the location was actually a 0. So it will stop the program, but the value of C has been increased by 1. Okay, now let me give you an example. There are 50 locations allowed. Assume that we have 5 values. Fine. We started with C1. The first value that was present in location 1 was added to W, means 0 plus, assume it was 5, 0 plus 5 was 5. It was stored in W. Like, let's talk about the same example. 5 was the first value stored in the array. So the value of C was increased by 1. C was 1, it became 2. Then, now, let's do this way. The value of C was 1 first, and the value of W was 0. The value of W was assumed it became 5, and the value of C was increased by 1. It moved up here. It was checking the value of A of C is not equal to 0. Condition of true. Assume that the value at location 2 was 2, for example. It entered inside the loop. 2 is not equal to 0. Condition true, it entered here. It has calculated the value like this. Like, for example, 5 plus 2 is 7. So the value of W has increased by 2. That was the data that was stored at location number 2. And the value of C was increased by 1. It became 3. Assume that the next value that was present at this location was, for example, 10, for example. Okay, the next value was 10. So it is again going to check A of C is not equal to 0, 10 is not equal to 0. It again entered. So 10 plus 7 is 17. And the value of C has increased by 1 again. Now, assume that the next value entered was, for example, 100, for example. Just to make the concept a little clearer, I'm just taking such values which are easier for us to add also. So current value of 70, like current value of W was 17 and 100 was not equal to 0. Still it entered the loop and then it checked, it added the value, like 17 plus 100 is 117. The value of C was increased by 1 again, it became 5. It moved up and just to make it simple, again assume that it was 100 again. A of C was 100, 100 is not equal to 0, condition is true. So what will happen? It will be moving here and the value of W will be increased again by 100 and it will become 217. And the value of C will be increased by 1 again. It becomes 6. Assume that A of C is now holding a 0. It means 0 is not equal to 0. Condition is now false. So when condition is false, while it does not execute, it stops working. It means it comes to this point. And here it encounters what? It encounters the value of, if the value of C was not subtract, like if we had not written C minus 1, then actually the actual values that have been added were 5, but the value of C is 6, which will give me the incorrect average. And for that reason, we know that we actually talk about total upon the total number of values, like total upon 50 or total number upon 5, or this is what we have learned. But since in this case, I've demonstrated for your convenience also, in reality, we have actually added 5 values, but the value of C is now 6 because of this C being incremented by 1, although not entering the loop. So that's why the 6th value is not a part of our calculation. The 6th value was never a part of this. So that is why if we don't do this, then our average will be incorrect. That's why we are doing C minus 1. So if a child has done this, that's perfectly okay. And if a child has just used a round function and he has used round W divided by C minus 1, comma 0, it will be considered to be excellent. Like the examiner will be saying, fine, that the child knows the use of round also. And this is going to happen now. Understood? Any questions? Anything that is unclear? Okay. Maybe move to the next part. I've explained you each and everything. I hope that that is very much clear to all of you. Okay, now let's move to the next part. Write pseudocode to display with suitable messages the number of values stored in the array, the average of those values stored. Now you can see the number of values stored in the array. Since you have understood this thing very well, that's why a proper message for the user on line number 12, after calculation is being done, output number of values stored in the array is comma C minus 1, C minus 1, the way we have explained right now. And line number 13, output average of non-zero elements in the array is, and since we know the average is stored in X, that's why we will use X here. In this manner, output messages properly, the proper variables, and the proper working will definitely give you 3 out of 3. Now, part C. Meaningful identifiers have not been used in this algorithm. Suggest suitable meaningful identifiers for the array. As you can see, the one that we are using with A, a better option would have been values or anything like number, anything could do. Just an example, as you can see here. As if you remember, I use the word index. That is what we normally, or we can say C for counter. That's perfectly okay. Okay, now let me add the answers that are coming from your end. There are very many answers that are possible. Like a student can say, instead of A, he can say values, he can say number, he can say anything for that. That is denoting what is it meant for. And similarly for index, he can say counter. That's perfectly okay. But for X, average is the best option, or okay, a student can say AVG, perfect. That's possible. And for total, a student can say TOT, or a person can say sum, correct. Or another student can say total numbers. Perfect, that perfectly okay. So these are better answers which are giving a very clear idea. They are more meaningful as compared to the ones that are mentioned in the pseudocode, and this is how you will be scoring 3 out of 3. Now let's move to the next question. Question number 7. A programmer is testing a program that requires a positive value between 1 and 100 inclusive to be entered. The range check in the program is to be tested. Identify 3 different types of test data to be used. Now, type 1, example, outcome. Type 2, I'm asked to mention in type, similarly, type 2, example, outcome, and similarly, type 3, example, and outcome. These are my questions, but remember, the question is dealing with between 1 and 100 inclusive. Now, you can see the range check means the value is containing the lower bound and the upper bound, the smallest value and the highest value. Now, if a child has written normal, any value will do, except for 1 and 100. Definitely, a child can say 12, and the student can say 20, and the student can say 35. They all are the normal values because they all are within the range, and the outcome will be they will be accepted because they are within the range values. Now, second example, a student can write the second type, and the student can identify as extreme, and extreme is going to be 1 or 100. Now, not anything else except for 1 and 100. And definitely it will be accepted. And the third one will be abnormal. And again, many options are possible for this example also. A child can say any value above 100, like he can say 120, another can say 300, 350, another one can say 429. So anything will do. Even a value within, like a string value will be also considered as an abnormal value. And definitely the outcome is rejected. So as far as normal, abnormal, extreme are concerned, they're very simple, which we know. Now, just for the purpose of making you comprehend, the fourth one I've shared with you right now. Maybe a child can say boundary, perfect. But then he needs to mention the boundary properly. Like for that, if you remember, boundary means a set. A child can say boundary means I'm taking 1 and 0. And in that case, what will be happening here is the 0 value will be rejected and 1 will be accepted. So remember, boundary means we are going to take the extreme values. The first one, for example, 1 is taken and a value before 1 is 0. So 1 and 0 will be forming the boundary. As you can see here, it's forming the boundary here. 0 is rejected and 1 is accepted. Another child can opt 100. So it means 100 and 101, 101. In this case for boundary, 100 will be accepted and 101 will be rejected. So in this manner, if a child has written boundary instead of extreme, maybe for example, then he needs to be very cautious that he should be mentioning the boundary properly, 1 and 0. 0 is rejected, 1 is accepted. Similarly, 100 and 101, 100 is accepted and 101 is rejected. I hope that this is very clear. And if you have mentioned these answers properly, you will be scoring 9 out of 9. Okay, now moving to the next question. Question number 8. A logic circuit is to be built to control the automatic opening of a window. The window W opens if the temperature T is too high, heater H is off, and the air conditioning A is off. There are 3 situations for the window to be opening. The first one, temperature T is too high. You can see temperature T too high means 1. And the signal for this is T. The heater is off. Heater is H. Heater off means a 0 or a not. And third is air conditioning. And again, you can see the word and is in between. It means all the 3 are connected with an and. All the 3 situations have to be met. All the 3 situations will be true to get the window to be opened. So you can see the last one is air conditioning A is off. Air conditioning A is off means it is also a 0. So if you have identified accurately, that means I was asked to complete the truth table for the problem. Although you were not asked to write the logic, like write expression, but just to make your life easy. If you write the expression for your own self, you say, you look at the values and you say it here. T is high means T is 1. T and, we don't mention T equals to 1, fine. T and next one is heater is off. H equals to 0. And not H, as you can see here, not H. Again and air conditioning is off. Air conditioning off means A is also a 0 and not A. So in this manner, we have identified the three signals T, H, and A. T is 1, H is 0, and A is 0. That's why we have written not A here. And they are connected with an AND gate in between. And this is my expression. I hope that is very simple. My next target is to make the create the truth table. So how will you do it? You will simply have not H and not A, working space. Not H means the signal H is reversed. So you can see here, not H means 0 becomes a 1 here, 1 becomes a 0 here, 0 becomes a 1, 1 becomes a 0, 0 becomes a 1, 1 becomes a 0, 0 becomes a 1, and 1 becomes a 0. So in this manner, we have found the value for not H. Similarly, the second one is not A. Not A means A is reversed. 4 zeros means 4 ones. 4 ones means 4 zeros. I think not a problem. Not H and not A. Clear? After that, you can see not H, not A, and T. And for that, what we will do is we will refer to this column of ours. This is my T. T is, now you can see it's an and in between. 0, 1, 1 definitely will be a 0. 0, 0, 1 will be a 0 here. 1, 1, 1, all three ones means a 1 here. 1, 0, 1, a 0 here. 0, 1, 0, a 0 here. A 0 here, 0, 0, a 0 here. Definitely 1, 1, but a 0 means again a 0. 1, 0, and 0, again a 0. Very simple. And you remember, and means all the conditions should be true, should be 1 to get the true status or to get the 1 status. And since in this case, only one situation is when T and not H and not A are all on. And that is why there's only one situation when the window will be opening. I think it's so simple. Just need to identify how you solve the question, and then there will be no problem at all, inshallah. Be confident. Inshallah, you'll be able to solve the questions. Question number 9. A flowchart checks that the values stored in 3 variables are identical. If they are different, the highest value is stored in all 3 variables. Now you can see a flowchart checks that all values in 3 variables are identical. Values stored in the 3 variables are identical. If they are different, the highest values is stored in all 3 variables. In all 3 variables. Now this is my flowchart. You have to identify. Now this flowchart question is a bit different from what we have been getting till now. It says, identify 4 errors in the flowchart and suggest a correction for each error. You may label each error on the diagram with a corresponding error number. They have given us the option. You can see 4 errors to be identified, suggest a correction for each error, and you can label the error on the diagram also. Now you can see, start, is A equal to B and B equals to C? Now it says yes and no. Is A greater than B or A greater than C? Yes. So B will hold the value of A and C will hold the value of A. That is not the case. It is moving down. Is B greater than A and B greater than or equal to C? Then A arrow towards the B and C, the value of B is moving towards C. Otherwise, if this is not the case, then A assignment operator C, B assignment operator C, and in all the 3 situations, the value, after the value has been stored in the variables A, B, or C, it will be ending the program by moving to the stop symbol. Now, have you tried to identify the errors? Okay, now, do you want to spend your time? Fine, no problem. I've read it for you. Okay. The first one identified accurately, Ali. It should not be a no, it should be a yes. It means that we have to actually swap. They should be swapped. You can see for yourself, is equal to B and B equals to C means they all are identical. And in that case, the program should stop. Otherwise, it will move down and it will check, is A greater than or equal to B or A greater than or equal to C? So the value of A will be moving to B and the value of A will be moving to C. So, okay, that's great. It should be an and here. Is A greater than or equal to B and A greater than or equal to C? It means the value of A is going to be the value of A will be moving to B and C. That is what is the requirement. Now, and should be here. And by the way, very intelligent, you can see an and is supposed to be used here also. Is B greater than or equal to A and B greater than or equal to C? So the value of B will be moving towards A. So the arrow direction is incorrect. It should have been towards A. The way it has been towards the variable on the left-hand side. Similarly here also the B value B will moving towards A. The value B will be moving towards C. And if this is not the case, A assignment operator C, B assignment operator C. Very correctly identified. That's wonderful, Ahmad. That this is the wrong symbol. We should have used the process box as has been used in all the other options. So similarly, this is a wrong thing. So you are going to identify these errors, and in this manner, you can see this is a mistake here. Should have been a rectangle, not a parallelogram. And this is your fourth error. So if I have identified the first error is here, the second error is here, the use of and, the third error is here, and the fourth error is here. So all four errors identified, and you have labeled them properly, and you have written the corrections also, and you are done with your question. Done? Understood also? It seemed difficult, but see, it's so simple. Isn't it? Can maybe move ahead? Okay, you can see this is how you will write your answer here. Error 1, the first decision box you can mention, the flow lines of yes and no should be reversed. So error 2 is in the second decision box, all should be and. Error 3 is in flow lines from A to B should be like this one, the way we have identified. The arrow is in the wrong direction. And the fourth error is the symbol for the fourth symbol, as you can see, flowchart symbol for A. Assignment operator C is incorrect, should be a process box or a rectangle instead of the parallelogram that is drawn in the flowchart. And in this manner, 4 marks are yours. Now, question number 10. Now, this is an algorithm has been written in pseudocode to. Now, let's first of all try to understand the question and then we'll proceed further. An algorithm has been written in pseudocode to check that a password meets a set of rules. Line number 1, output, please enter password. Input password. Accept equals to true, a Boolean variable accept. If length of password is less than 8 or length of password is greater than 20, then accept will be false. Accept will be false equals to false. And if. Now, line number 4 and line number 7 are handling the first if condition to go for the checking of the length of the password. Means, in other words, we are performing the length check. The validation checks, exactly. So if any one of you has any problem with validations, a very important topic. So please refer to the YouTube channel and you can watch the video on validation and verification, and your concept will be much clearer, inshallah. Now moving to the next lines of code, line number 8. If L case of password equals to password or U case of password equals to password, then except equals to false. And if, by the way, we can recall length, L case, U case, these all are your string functions, the ones that are available, library routines, and we are just using them. L case is for exactly the lowercase to convert the value into a lowercase or checking the values in lowercase or not. Similarly, U case is for uppercase. And if the now let's filter about different situations, then again except will be false. And if that is not the case, then what is happening? Like we are moving to index equals to 1 in line number 12. Found is false. 2 more variables initialized to index a variable to handle the movement into through the array, and found is a Boolean variable that is holding a false in the beginning, while not found, or in other words, while not false, or in other words, while true, and except and index is less than length of password. So I am on this line right now. Let's talk about these lines first. While not found, and except means except equals to true, and index less than length of password. Index is less than length of password. So if all the 3 situations are true in a while loop, it will enter the loop, and it is now going to check the if condition here. If substring password comma index comma 1 equals to exclamation mark, then found equals to true. Otherwise, the value of index will be increased by 1 and while will take it back to the while loop. If not found, then except equals to false. If except means if, in other words, true, output accepted, else output rejected. Now we are supposed to complete 3 trace tables using the data shown for each. Now I'll explain you all of them. Just be attentive and you will be able to understand, inshallah. Just give me a minute so that I can show you. The trace tables are here. The flowchart is here. So the pseudocode is here. And then let's do. Are we ready? Okay. This is my trace table. So this is my trace table and this is my data. Fine. First line says, please enter password. So output, please enter password. Then except equals to true, you can say except variable is true. If length of password is less than 8, can you see? My word is my data. That is my password. Is this condition met? Is this less than 8? You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This condition is met. So what will happen? The condition is true. In this case, what will happen? It will enter the loop and it will make except false. As you can see, the value of except that was beginning with true, it will now become false. You can see here. Earlier it was true, but now it has become false because this is the condition that is being met. Now, second condition check, if L case of password equals to password or U case of password equals to password. So you can see another condition is here. Is the condition true? L case of password, if I convert this my word into lowercase, it will become MYWORD. So this is my L case and U case is already there. Is it equal to password? No, the condition is not met. They are not equal. Or U case of password equals to password. Definitely, if I to convert this into uppercase, it will remain the same. Is this condition met? It's an or situation. Exactly, they are equal. So definitely, again, except will be false. So you can see in this case, the condition is true. So again, you can see the value of the variable except will become false again. It was false earlier because of this first condition being met. It is false again right now because of this condition being met. And now we have moved to line number 12. Any questions till now? Okay. Index equals to 1. Index is 1, as you can see here. The value of index is 1 and the value of variable found is false. Index is 1, found is false. While not found means while, not found means while true. While found is true. And except is false. Except means true. And index, we can see here, 3 conditions mentioned. Not found means not false means in other words true. While true, this is not true. And except means it should be true. So you can see the except is false, and the variable is handled through and. Like this is the condition that is handled through and any one condition being false means it will not enter the loop, and that is why you can see for yourself it will be moving down and it will not be entering the while loop, and it will be moving down to the line after end while, and that is line number 21. And this is going to happen here also. You can see for yourself this will happen here. The value of 1 and false, and the value of except is still false, and that is why the value is still false. If not found, then except will be false. So you can see execution of line number 21 is reflected here. This is because of line 21. Let me mention it here so that you can understand and remember line 21. Because of this, line 21 is happening. The value is now false, and it is going to be handling the line 25 till line 29 to 30 situation. If except, definitely it is not. If except equals true, then output accepted, else output rejected. So you can see except is false. That's why it is going to move to the else situation and it will output rejected. So rejected will be coming in my output column. So it seems to be a bit difficult. It is, like, definitely if you see something for the first time, but see for yourself, we have handled it so nicely, isn't it? Just pay attention. I should explain it again. Okay, not again, fine. So it means that do you want to attempt it yourself for the other 2 data items? Now, let's see. Let me do this one with you also, and the third one you will do yourself. The second time, for the second set of data, I'm given this value M exclamation sign WORD in small, but M is capital, exclamation sign in word. Now this is my first line. Again executing from the beginning. Please enter password. Input password means this goes into the password variable. Except is true. As you can see, except is true here. Now you can see the next one is if length of password is less than 8, is it met? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Condition is true. This condition is met. Oh, definitely one condition met. It means the value of except will become false, as you can see. Since it is less than 8, the number of characters in this password is 6. 6 is less than 8. Condition is true. It will be changing the variable except from true to false. If L case of password equals to password, L case of password, are they equal? If L case, if I convert this into lowercase, it will become M WORD. This will be the result. Or U case of password equals to password. If I say U case, it will be M underscore, exclamation sign WORD. So are they equal? Like I've written both of them together to make you understand. Now both the conditions, is it equal to password? No. Or U case of password equals to password? No. So definitely it will not enter here and there will be no change in except at all. And it moves to line number 12, and the value, as that is where you can see no change in except at all. And the value in the program flow is now moving to line number 12. This is false. That's why it is not going to enter this if at all, and it will move to line number 12, except index will be 1. and found is false. While not found means while true, and except and index less than or equal to and index is less than or equal to length of password. Index is less than password, condition true. Except is false, as you can see here. Except is not true. So that's why it does not enter the loop again. In this case also, and it moves out, and let's say it moves to line number 21. If not found, I can see here, if not found, definitely it's found equals to false, as well as except equals to false. So that is why it's found equals to false. Yes. So except is false again. And you can see for yourself, if except is true, then output accepted, else output rejected. So in this case also, the final answer will be rejected. Understood the second situation also? Any issues in comprehending? Okay, now the third one, you will do it yourself. Let me share with you the entire question, and starting with output, please enter password. For this data, my exclamation sign hidden. This is your data item. This is your password. Apply all the situations, and then we'll check our answers. Okay, now, any questions till now? Done with the beginning? Okay, now let's do it again. Input taken. So simple. Let's move to the third one. My exclamation sign hidden is your password. Started with the value of except being true and checking the situations. If length of password is less than 8, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Condition is false. So it does not enter this if, and it moves here. Is LKS of password equals to password? By the way, is it true? Now, if I just treat this here, like here, just to make you comprehend, LKS means it will be my exclamation sign HIDDEN. Is it matching with the password? No. And if I keep all of them in capital, is it this condition is met? That is also not being met. It means that these two conditions are false. So it will not enter here. So here you can see the value of except is going to be true, as was here in the beginning. Starting the value of except equals to true. So you can see for yourself, for the third case, when you have my exclamation sign hidden, except is true, both the conditions are not met, lines 4, 5, 6, and 7. Similarly, lines 8, 9, 10, and 11. So these two conditions are false, and this condition is also false. That's why it will not be entering the if at all, and it will be moving further to line number 8. Sorry, line number 12. And here you can see the value of index will change to 1. And the value found will be false. While not found, and except, and index less than equal to less than length of password, all the conditions are true. So it enters the loop. And here you can see if substring password, comma, index, comma, 1 is equal to exclamation sign. Substring, you will know very well, substring means to extract a character from the string anywhere from the middle, of any from the middle, and its parameters, you can see what is it doing. It's there to extract a character from the password, starting from index location, one character. So in the beginning, it will be extracting the first time the letter M. Okay, the letter M. M is going to be compared. M is there. Is it equal to is it equal to exclamation? No. So it will simply increase the value of index by 1, and the index value will become 2. As you can see, earlier index was 1 when the loop was executing for the first time because of this, and now the value of index has increased by 1, and the end while moves up again. Again, all the conditions are true. It enters again inside. Now it will be extracting the next letter. That is your letter Y. Now you can see, again, Y is not equal to exclamation sign. It again does not enter inside the if condition. And the value of index will be increased by 1 again, and it will become 3. As you can see, the value of index is now 3. Now what happens now? It is again, all the conditions are true. If substring, now you can see, now it will be extracting the third letter. And here you can see for yourself, now it is the desired letter. So you can see the exclamation sign is going to be extracted. So now you can see, is it true? Yes, the condition is now true. So in this case, the variable found will be true, and the increment will definitely take place, but the only change will be the variable found will be true, and index will be increased by 1, and the index becomes 4. If not found, then accept false. This is not the condition. That is not the case at all. That's why it does not enter this at all. The found value is now, as you can see, the found value is true here. So that's why this condition is not true. That's why it does not enter lines 21, 22, 23, 24, and it moves to line number 25. If accept, is accept equals to true? Yes, this does not change from the beginning. That's why it will be outputting accepted, and be careful. It will be A capital, CCEPTED in small. In the same manner, you'll write in the output column, and in this manner, you will be gaining 6 marks. 2 marks for each of the data value. In this manner, 6 marks are yours. Okay? Now, part B. State the rules that must be met. State the rules that the password must meet. And what are the rules actually? From here, you can derive very easily. Maximum length 20 characters and minimum length 8 characters is the first requirement. Cannot be all uppercase letters or all lowercase letters. It means it is going to contain a mixture of uppercase and lowercase letters. And thirdly, we observe that it should contain an exclamation sign. An exclamation sign. One exclamation sign means then that will be considered to be a true situation. These 3 situations are supposed to be mentioned, and 3 marks are yours. Okay, I hope that that's very simple. Now question number 11. No issues, no problem, I hope till now. Let's move to question number 11. From here, like we have just deduced the answers from our pseudocode, no problem at all. Now, question number 11 is dealing with your databases. Building materials are stored in bags. A new database table called build stock has been set up to store details about the materials for sale. Part of this table is given, and you can see the table is here. The variables are MTNO, name, in stock, weight kg, price per bag, number bags. These are your fields. And you are required, the part A requires you to, now let's do it here. This is your database table in the upper portion, and the questions in the lower portion. And let's start doing it. Write the output from this SQL statement. Select MTNO, name from build stock, where weight kg equals to 75, order by, price per kg, price per bag. Order by, price per bag. So you can see these are my fields, and they're asking me to show or to select MTNO name from the table where this condition is met, where weight kg equals to 75. So you can see equals to 75. I just started doing it from here, and I figured out no, 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 yes, no, no, yes, no, no. So except for these two, I have figured out that all the options, all the other records are not meeting the criteria. So I have just ticked it, circled it, or whatever you are comfortable with, but the values should be very clearly visible. And then what I will do, I'll not start answering my question. I've just attempted this part that says where weight kg equals to 75. Fine. I've done this part only, nothing else but this part. Okay. Now my next part is dealing with order by. Now I have to show MTNO and name. These two values only, MTNO and name. These are the two values that I'm supposed to show. It means MT06 cobbles, MT12 pebbles large. These are the two values that I'm supposed to show. And it says order by price per bag. It means that I have to look for the order. It means what will come first, 67.35 or 62.75. Order by means is going to be by default in ascending order. So definitely MT12 will come first because 62.75 is smaller. And I will simply say MT12 pebbles large. And then I will mention MT06 cobbles. And in this manner, identifying the two tables, identifying the two records properly will give you 2 marks. And the third mark is going to be putting them in the right order. If, for example, a child wrote these answers the way they are in the table, so he will score 2 marks. But if he has written this in this manner, he will score 3 out of 3. Understood? Okay. Now complete the SQL statement to display only the names of all the materials that are out of stock. So what you need to see, first of all, you need to identify the select. Select means what is supposed to be displayed. They said only the names, means I only have to show the names. That's why select name from the table. And the table name is bill stock as was written in the beginning. As you can see, bill stock was the name of the table that is mentioned here. This was the table name. So you have taken the table name again from the question. Okay. From bill stock, the table name. And now where? Now after this where they have left the blank. They wanted me to fill in the blank. Where? What am I supposed to write? When that are out of stock. So out of stock means I have to refer to this field in stock. So if a student says in stock equals to false, he's correct. If another student says when in stock equals to no, he's also correct. If another student told when in stock equals to no within double quotations, he is also correct because he has identified the right field. Or another student had written where not in stock. That's perfectly okay. Means in other words, it is false. So where, or another student said where number of bags equals to 0. Number of bags equals to 0, that also means the same thing. So if a student has written any of these options, that is considered to be the right answer, and he will be scoring 2 out of 2. Okay. Now, explain how another SQL statement using a different field could be used to display the same information. Now, they are expecting us to write down the explanation. Okay, now, here they're not asking me to write the SQL statement. Here they're expecting the student to explain which other SQL statement you can write to display the same information. So what can a student write? A student can say, I'm going to use the where clause to check the in-stock field for false or no. That is what he can write. Or a student can write, he is going to check the number of bags field to be 0. That's perfectly okay. So if a student has identified the correct field, he will be getting 1 mark and another mark for the correct value. In this manner, 1 mark for this another mark for this. Identification of the right field name and the value. Identification of the right field name and the value. Number bags equals to 0. Perfect. That is possible. Or if a student has written number bags here, it means he should be mentioning in stock here. Or vice versa, the student wrote in stock in the first part, so he'll be mentioning number bags here. So in either of the situation, the student's answer will be considered correct because he has made a connection between the first part and the second part. Is it easy? Any questions till now? Okay, I hope that you have liked the whole explanation. Again, if any queries there, you can definitely consult me through the comment section, and I'll be definitely able to help you out. Again, I'm repeating, the videos are there uploaded. Watch the videos to have all your queries answered. Jazakallah khair Kasira for being a part of the learning journey. Hope that you have liked the video. Please keep on working hard. May Allah bless you. May Allah help you. Take very good care of your friends and family, and do not forget to click on the bell icon so that you are getting the latest updates of the videos as soon as they're uploaded. Share with your friends and family so that they all are going to benefit from it. Once again, Allah Hafiz. May Allah bless you immensely.